To the economy now, where staggering numbers have been released surrounding Black women in the labor force. A new report shows more than 300,000 Black women have left the workforce in just the last several months. That's according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Joining me now is gender economist Katika Roy to break this all down.
Before I get into that, I'm going to tell y'all what they were saying. A lot of people was very upset. They said the title was misleading on purpose. They are not leaving, being fired or laid off. Bottom line, what a ridiculous title. I love that the guests continued to push. We didn't leave, we were laid out. So a lot of people didn't like the title. I just wanted to put that out there.
Why they're leaving. Katika, thank you so much for being with us. You recently wrote an article where you say that this isn't happening by accident. Why do you think it is happening?
This is happening because of cuts to public sector positions. So if you look at the federal labor force, Black women make up just over 12% of the federal labor force. It's about double their representation in the labor force overall. And when you have targeted cuts up to 50% in organizations such as the Department of Education and HHS, you're not just trimming the fat, you're actually cutting the economic backbone for Black women.
Wow. And so what are some of the spillover effects from all of this?
Well, one of the things that we know is that there is a connection between women's labor force participation and GDP. So just Black women's labor force participation has dropped by just over 2% in the last 3 months. And that has sucked over $37 billion out of US GDP. So this is the economic cost of gender policy ignorance.
This is really fascinating because do you think that most people are unaware of the actual impacts of things like this?
Absolutely. So when we often think about women's issues or Black women's issues, we think of it as an over there problem. It's not. It's an everybody problem. When our economy grows, that has more jobs and more income for everyone. So we know, for instance, overall, that for every 1 percentage point that women leave the labor force, there's a $146 billion hit to GDP.
If you guys can hear me, make sure you hit that like button, y'all. The likes are low. Let's get these likes up.
Oh my gosh. And so we've talked about the consequences, but is there an upside to all of this? Are we seeing women pivoting to entrepreneurship as they're leaving the workforce? What then are they doing?
You know, that's a great question. And the truth is, we don't know where all of the 300,000 Black women that have actually been pushed out of the labor force have gone. We know that some of them have gone into entrepreneurship, which is not only because of luxury, but it's actually because of survival. And this is really a testament to their resilience, but it also shows the rigidity in our traditional employment systems.
Are there any other groups that we are seeing largely impacted in this way in the labor workforce?
Not to this extent. So I track all of the data, as you can imagine, month over month by gender and race and ethnicity. And I started to see this trend about 3 months ago with this really precipitous drop in Black women out of the labor force. And this is a huge hit. And historically, just to give you a sense of the historical context, this is the first time in years that Black women's labor force participation has fallen below Latinas' labor force participation.
What?
Wow. It's really fascinating to see these numbers, to hear you explain all of it and break down the real world impacts on our GDP and the economy at large. Katika Roy, thank you for what you do and thanks for being with us.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. 300,000 Black women have left the workforce. Again, people didn't like the title. This one lady said, I was pushed out. Now I am an entrepreneur living my best life. They didn't just leave. They are being deliberately forced out. So what are you guys' thoughts, man? How are you feeling about these 300,000 women?
I think they are being pushed out, especially in this current political environment where DEI is lingering in the minds of the public. A lot of Black women are, especially myself, I'm one of these women who has worked in tech and has been quote unquote pushed out. It's very, when when companies start looking at profits and the stock market is unstable and there's all this talk of who really is deserving or who has earned their position, oftentimes it's Black and brown people who get the boot first in these companies, not because of performance. Usually it's simply because there's this perception that you have not earned your position and it's too costly to continue to pay the salaries of your DEI hire. I think also something to consider is a lot of modern women think OnlyFans is an actual lucrative opportunity, or schmex or sex work, or someone said a lash tech. I think you will find a lot of Black women moving into spaces where they can sell their act. I think entrepreneurship is more safe for a lot of Black women.
Go ahead, DJ. I saw you wanted to say something as well. Go ahead.
A key part of that video I wanted to touch on is something immediately before the video was acting correct. We had a little chat on the back end. I didn't say anything, but someone said lash tech, and then Ann said something. Everyone was saying something. In my thoughts, it was survival. 1,000% survival. Prior to me owning my DJ business for 15 years, I've been a sole mobile DJ in the corporate world. Prior to this, I was in property management, and I seen it going down in the city of Atlanta. Now, I can't speak for where I'm from, California, except for when I went back maybe 15 years ago. But in the space of women that are not married, I don't know what percentage of that is the Black women that's not married either. But in the space of that, doing property management for 10 years and watching how graduates are working jobs in the South and they're still not able to rent an apartment. We can talk about even today why there's so many young Black students that are even graduating from Clark, Morehouse, Atlanta, Emory, all these universities, but they're choosing to go to Aveda. They're choosing to go to real estate school. They're choosing to go get a trade because in reality, my daughter right now making $20 an hour could not qualify for a 1-bedroom apartment in the city of Atlanta. So you're almost, I don't like the word pushed or anything because I've never been pushed. I don't think no one can push me out of anything. But the reason I walked away from corporate America is because I never made over $65,000 in property management in Atlanta, Georgia. In that space, I cannot be a mom that does not receive child support nor alimony to survive in a standard life that I wanted to give my kids. So in the space for me, I chose to go back what I started with, which my dad was a DJ. I started at 12 years old. I knew how to do that. I seen a room for that for female DJs 15 years ago. So I started my own business.
Does entrepreneurship really mean freedom if it starts from survival?
Isn't that the whole point of being an entrepreneur? Like using opportunity and your creativity to fill a niche, even if it is coming from survival?
I don't think, to answer the question, sort of. I don't know. I'm going to give you a vague answer because I'm not really sure, but it kind of leads me to believe that if everyone becomes an entrepreneur, who's going to be the workforce? Like everyone can't be a business owner. So I just don't understand. But to answer your question directly, I think sort of it is. It's still a act of desperation or survival, I believe. But some women do have the capabilities of being an entrepreneur. Some women do have the capabilities of running a business, but some women don't. Everyone's not that skilled to run a business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm hearing is we need some people to work 9 to 5. Not everyone can be a hustler.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. Everyone can't be a business. Okay, so if everybody opens a business, who's going to be the worker? Who's going to do the day-to-day stuff that business owners can't do. You know what I mean? So
Wouldn't that be the workforce that
Yeah,
you're talking
if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, you hire people. That's workforce. You're
that's
contributing to
workforce.
the
Yeah,
workforce. To answer the
yeah,
question, no. Entrepreneurship rooted in survival can't be freedom, because if your business is the business you create is in reaction to desperation, it's not a conscious pursuit of purpose, like or autonomy, then you're either replacing one trap with another. You're making short-term decisions to survive. Um, you're unable to say no because you have to hit those numbers, you have to hit those deadlines. And then a lot of the times, most people, even when they work, they're running from fear and not towards their vision.
That's
So
beautiful.
no.
I really like that you said that. And I wish all the girls who do OF would hear that, because a lot of them say, you know, I had no other choice but this.
Now we need OnlyFans girls though. You need OnlyFans girls.
Pause.
I'm a dude.
Why do we need OF girls?
Because of the 100% of men, 80% of them are invisible. Those 80% need OnlyFans girls to keep from bothering y'all. Like, the more OnlyFans girls, the more sex workers we have, the less likely these guys are to be, to call and saying, well, fuck you then, bitch, or trying to break your neck or punch you or shoot you when you turn them down when they try to talk to you.
Okay. Why wouldn't they just... Okay, so you're saying there's 80% of men who just would never get a girl, so they have to engage in sex work with sex workers.
Yep. That's my hot take, my unpopular opinion.
Then why are majority of OF girls, they're base married men?
I don't think that the majority of OnlyFans girls are married.
No, their audience are married men.
Oh, but yeah, because married men settle for unattractive wives, because in which they stick with them once they get fat, all other shit, and stop giving them sex, so they go look for something else elsewhere, and they can't. They're too average to cheat, so they go to OnlyFans girls.
Okay, so OF girls, they're filling a void? Okay, I mean, that's a take. But
Yeah, they serve a purpose. They serve a purpose. I mean, it's a function, of our society of the society for regular niggas. They need OnlyFans girls. And like, you got to understand, as a dude, people say that all men cheat. It's not true. It's just all men that they want probably can cheat and likely will. The majority of men can't cheat. You look and see how many guys are out here trying to cheat on their girlfriends and getting curved by the girls they trying to cheat with. That shit's embarrassing. If I was a woman and I saw my nigga getting curved by a girl he was trying to cheat on me with, like, damn, how come you don't want my man? Like, that's what I would think. Like, what? So then now I think something's wrong with me because I want him. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, that makes sense.
That 80%, those dudes tend to be the ones that they're faithful because they don't have a choice.
Wow.
Okay. So I look at the reason for OF girls is because of the fact that there are men who they are visually challenged, and they need that connection from a woman. And unfortunately, in today's society, women are nasty. Women are mean. Like, they've come up with so many different ways and plays and situations where no matter what a man does, even if he just holds open a door, like, oh, he's a creeper. That's the way the majority of women are right now. And because of that, men are now they're just not talking to women anymore. But
Yeah.
because they need, like, so the wonderful thing about a woman's femininity is being able to emotionally pour into a man, be a pillar, speak life to him. And there are some men who don't get that, which is actually a reflection of the men's, suicidal rate here in the United States. Men make up 50% of the population, but they make up 80% of suicide rate here. And so, yeah, I think there's a need for it. Not like Willie's, but I think that there is a need for it.
I think that's a very good observation as well. But that's a good point.